Okay, welcome. I will give now a small interview to the Burjatia freedom movement, and I'm looking very much forward to the questions. I will also record it, and thanks a lot here from the Philadelphia City Hall. I'm very happy to be here, Günther Fellinger, for the freedom of the post-Putin Russia. The nations will be free, and now let's focus on Burjatia. Please, what's your questions?
You said that you want to work for.
Yes, in the future. You know, the plan is we need a clear strategy how to develop a post-Russian space, because when the 41 countries, actually it's not clear the number, between 36 and 41 new countries will come, there needs to be a clear economic, political, security strategy how to organize all these countries. And luckily we have one in the European Union, because we have helped 23 countries now to reform from the ex-Soviet and ex-Warsaw Pact states. There are 23 countries who have transformed in the last 30 years, and it all worked very well. Yeah? We know exactly what we do, and we do it very well. And here's the structure. I can explain it very easily. Russia was already member of the Council of Europe until the invasion, so logically all the countries will be again member of the Council of Europe, and that is a very good stable framework. And obviously we have offered the Eastern Partnership to all the 6 countries of the ex-Soviet Union area, and the same Eastern Partnership the European Union can and will offer to all the new countries emerging from the Russian Federation. That's a very good and established instrument, and it's very, very simple and clear, with help in infrastructure, economic transition, with climate change and with environmental issues. Because the Soviet Union and Russia, let's never forget, it's an evil empire. They have left a lot of economic and environmental damage, and it must be then ultimately fixed. And we know how to do that. It will be very expensive, but it's much less expensive than such a terrible war. And the people of ex-Russia have also deserved freedom. This is the most important, especially for Burjatia, which was so long colonized, suppressed, and in terrible condition in terms of human rights for hundreds of years, and now time for freedom must come. The situation is then also we have the Council of Europe, we have also the Eastern Partnership, we have then the OSCE. Russia is in the OSCE, and that is also possible for all the new countries which are emerging, and that will give the democracy, political framework, how to organize elections, how to organize human rights, and how to make local governments, for example. That will be, each of the new countries will get such a mission. And imagine Burjatia is best explained like, for example, let's say Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan, exactly such a country Burjatia will be, like Mongolia, and so it will be very clear. Of course, very important not to have any kind of fantasies of joining Mongolia or like having border wars. That's why I really very intensively argue from the beginning to have a bilateral MOUs with the neighboring countries. If you look here on the map, it's very good. Here's Burjatia, and then you see, for example, here's Siberia, here's Sakha-Yakutia, and here is the Pacific new state. It's important to develop already now clear demarcation of the borders, because where's the danger in America and Europe? What we don't want is ex-Yugoslavian border wars and conflict, civil wars. So it's very important to have bilateral agreements now already in the independence phase, when everything is starting, then to have bilateral MOUs. That Burjatia will be of this, I think it's overall 3 present-day oblasts and krais, and these regions must have an agreement that they will form a new state, and then to agree already now with the neighboring states, 1, 2, 3, 4, to have a clear border demarcation. As you know, we have a border conflict between Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan and here Kazakhstan. This is not so good. We need clarity in the borders. And then a customs regime. But from the beginning, there must be a trade system which is aligned to the European Union. We have offered to Ukraine and concluded a very successful DCFTA with Ukraine. This is exactly what all these countries, especially Burjatia, from the beginning needs, a free trade agreement with the European Union. Because then you basically have a regulatory framework which is helping all these countries to recover and to have a fast transition. Be also very clear, it must be in the regional integration system like we have it in the Western Balkans, because that's the role model I work on, because ex-Yugoslavia is a big success story. I hear that we have problems in ex-Yugoslavia. Yes, you know, there is always problems in the world. But in general, it's a big success story economically. Even the poorest countries, Kosovo, which I call all the new countries to study and learn from Kosovo independence. But Kosovo is now much richer than most of the Soviet republics, and it's a very big success story. And this is something I would recommend to learn and to study. In Southeastern Europe, we have developed all the mechanisms for regional cooperation, like the Regional Cooperation Council, like the Transport Unity, the Energy Community. All the governmental sectors have a regional network where the states can learn how to overcome the developing borders. Because in the beginning, each of the new states needs to have strict borders. But of course, you need in a regional integration system overcome them as well. And this you can learn in Southeastern Europe, where we have between Macedonia, Albania, Serbia. We had problems during the division and the breakup, but we have learned to overcome them. And this is the way also how Burjatia has then to work with the neighboring countries, to have agreements, to probably join a customs agreement, a customs union, to have a free trade agreement with the European Union, and also in the currency, and to have a currency which is either pegged to the US dollar or to the European currency, the euro. Not to have our own currency with a lot of problems possible, also to adopt the euro, it's a very good policy, or the dollar, and then to have a very clear economic stability from day one. This is my hope, and Burjatia will be free, will be very successful, and it's absolutely a possible scenario of a very good future for the people of Burjatia to build a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, European, modern, Western state. As the example of Mongolia has shown, it can be repeated in Burjatia very well. And I wish Burjatia to be free, to be a republic, to be successful, prosperous, and I welcome Burjatia in the world family of peaceful nations as a UN member, and I'm looking very much forward to that future, and I hope it will happen very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.